7 in the morning, dog. I walk this door, walk it back up. Oh, unlock this door. Unlock it. Walk it back up. Where the fuck is my car? It looks like someone stole my fucking car. Oh well. Let's go chill somewhere. Chill. Yeah. Push play.
Hi, my name is Julia, and I'm 23. A few months ago, I was talking to this guy on a dating app. We had matched and chatted for a while. We got along really great and had started an online relationship while saving up money to meet in person. We had seen each other in pictures and short videos we sent to each other, and we talked on the phone every day.
Have a joint for
Other
the
people
day.
would probably be scared that their match would be a scary perv, but we both completely trusted one another. Finally, we set a day that he would fly out and meet me. The both of us could not have been more excited. We had chatted all night the day before his flight and had a brief phone call before he got to the airport. The night before, I had decided that I would surprise him by picking him up from the airport and driving him to the restaurant that we had decided on going to. I was super excited to see his reaction, but also excited just to finally meet him. He called me when his plane landed and told me that he should be at the restaurant soon and couldn't wait to see me. Once we were off the plane, I quickly put my plan into action. Standing outside holding a sign that read his name, I waited at the back terminal. He had told me that he was 6 foot and was wearing a blue polo shirt with khaki pants and tennis shoes. When I had spotted him, I nearly screamed. He was so much more attractive in person. Keeping my composure, I waited for him to see me. It didn't take him long to see me. Coming up to me, told me he was the person from the sign. And then he told me the restaurant and didn't look at me again. I guess he didn't recognize me at all. I decided to tell him at the restaurant and started the drive down. When we got there, he began ranting how I was the worst service car he had ever taken and how he wouldn't be paying me, and my driving sucked. I was shocked that he would treat a stranger like that. In all the time we talked, he never treated me like this. He was always so nice to me. I couldn't believe he would treat anyone like this, especially a kind stranger who picked him up and took him where he needed to be, without a single mean word. I parked the car and took a deep breath to keep my emotions in check, before politely telling him, "Have a nice day," and driving off. After that, I blocked him on every medium we used to talk. I never spoke to him again, and I never tried to meet another person through a dating app. How did you like this story? Let us know in the comments. Enjoyed this video? Then hit the like button. Share and subscribe to this channel to watch more such videos.
I am Arena, and I am 17 years old. Until last year, I was in a relationship with Ryan. I was crazy about him and used to love him from the bottom of my heart. Everything was going so well until Joya came into our life. Joya was my neighbor. Last year in Jan, she came to live next to my house. No sooner we became friends, and I introduced her with Ryan. Slowly, I found Ryan's behavior getting changed for me. I observed that Joya provokes him against me. I tried hard to explain Ryan, but his brain was totally washed by her, and I ended up breaking a relationship with him. Joya was the one who spoiled my love relationship. I was fully broken from inside, and I cried a lot. Joya had snatched Ryan from me. The same night I kept thinking what Ryan and Joya did to me. The next morning, I woke up and went to my room's window. I saw my neighbors gathered, talking to each other. I was wondering what happened outside. And out of curiosity, I went out and asked my brother John, what happened? He replied, Joya is missing. What? I yelled. I was astounded and confused. I kept thinking, how is it possible? Yesterday, we met each other. So I decided to go out to know what happened exactly. When I went there, I heard rumors that Joya is missing since night. I wasn't allowed to go to her house because, according to people, I was too young. After this incident, everyone stopped hanging out. To be honest, I was happy from inside because Joya had done wrong to me. But one thing which was bothering me was, who did it? And why? Then I saw Ryan coming towards Joya's house. I went to him and asked, do you know where is Joya? He got shocked and replied, I came here to meet her. 6 months later, I saw her in a cafe with one boy. I was stunned looking at her because everybody was searching for her all these days. Her parents were worried. I went to her to ask her the truth, but she ran as soon as she saw me. I followed and finally caught her. I asked her, where were you, Joya? Why did you this? She laughed in a cunning manner. Irina, you want to know the truth? She asked. She said she was in a relationship with Rocky for the past 3 years. When she saw my love for Ryan, she thought to break it. She created a misunderstanding and started provoking Ryan against me. My breakup was the right time when she thought to run away with Rocky so that everyone would blame me and I'll be punished. She hated me very much because I was beautiful than her. Everybody, including her parents, praised my beauty. She wanted to hurt me, so she planned all this. I was shocked to hear all of it and was wondering, how could one girl do this to another girl? Because of her selfish motive, I lost my love of life. What's your story? True Tales wants to hear it. You also have any icon for more. But my experience has led me to believe how beautiful her child looked. Of course, it seems pretty normal to compliment on a baby's appearance. After all, who doesn't love babies? But that attention did not wane over time. When I was 3, my mom was asked by a friend who works in show business.
Let's pause it. Head back to the crib. Head to bed. You know, the usual. Tomorrow's Saturday. Shit, man. Yeah, buddy. Tomorrow is Saturday, dog. Hell yeah, cunt. Yeah, buddy. The crib should be around here somewhere, I think. Please tell me I went the right way, dog. Please tell me I didn't get washed again. And I think I did get washed again. How can I get washed? Shit, man. How can I get watchdog? How can I get washed? Like, fuck. I guess I see her whenever I find my house, yo. Oh, hi. It's the next day, as you can already tell. I decided to sell my old house and buy this house right next to the lake. See here? Yeah, I'm near the lake now. And I think I'm near the school. Not actual, even though the school's up there, I think I am near the run, you know what I mean, the turn up. Where you get up from the, like, up on the mountain. You know what I fucking mean? Like, shit. Push
She
play.
would be willing to enter me into
What
a
a
children's
blunt for
beauty pageant.
day.
As
Why
I grew
not?
older and hit puberty, the attention I got only increased. Older boys started approaching me in the street to get to know me. Girls would say mean things about me behind my back, and one of my aunts even remarked on how I shouldn't concentrate too much on my studies since I could get by on my looks alone. When I entered high school, I developed a love of writing and studying algebra, and I excelled at sports, but nobody seemed to care at all about my interests or grades. Already, I was stereotyped as a blonde with more beauty than brains, which was far from the actual truth. All of this made me feel very distressed and anxious. I developed an insecurity about my good looks. I started to alienate myself from those around me. I became withdrawn and introverted. I changed my dressing and started wearing loose clothes, ones that wouldn't accentuate my curves or chest. Another problem with being too pretty is that people develop preconceived notions about your personality and character. Many of the boys who talked to me were only interested in my appearance, and they did not seem to care or even comprehend how smart I was, or that my hobbies were different than going to parties or hanging out late at night with friends. I was also the envy of girls in my class who would gossip about me and spread disparaging rumors that would further hurt my reputation. Due to my unsociable behavior and the way my classmates felt about me, I didn't have many close friends. And because people around me were quick to discard my interests and ambition, I too, in turn, felt that maybe I wasn't good enough to pursue my dreams. And so, I decided that since the world was so bent on treating me as nothing more than a pretty face, I would act the part and play to people's expectations of what I should be and not what I am. I started wearing skimpy clothes, and when boys tried to flirt with me, I flirted back. I began wearing makeup and lipstick. I also joined in with other girls when they would gossip. I fell behind in my studies as I would often skip class, and my grades suffered for it. Doing all of this did not make me happy. But at this point I was so tired of trying to prove myself to others that I just thought, why bother with any of this? If this is how I will always be treated, then maybe I should act accordingly. One day in my sophomore year, I was invited to a party at one of the popular students' house. Almost every other underclassman was present. I picked out the most alluring dress I owned, and as soon as I arrived, all eyes were on me. While I did look spectacular in my new dress, it also wasn't something that I was known to wear, and so, many heads were turned in my direction. At the same time, my insecurity resurfaced and I realized that this is not who I am. As I turned back to leave, one of the boys came up. I told her how it might sound egotistic or atypical to say that I was too pretty and that was the source of all my anguish. But she replied that it wasn't strange at all for me to be feeling this way. She said we could work on ways for me to be more comfortable in my own skin. And though it may take a long time, I would eventually learn to love myself as a person. Thankfully, things have gradually started looking up for me. I've gotten back to my studies and my grades have returned to how they were before. I've learned how to deal with my anxiety in a more positive way, and I no longer feel as perturbed by unwanted comments on my appearance. I even joined the literature club and the debate team so that I can gain more confidence in myself, and I've made a few friends there as well. There's still a long road ahead of me when it comes to dealing with my vulnerability and self-doubt, but for now, I am happy with the path I've chosen.
Let's pause it. Head to bed. I'll show you around the new crib. Kitchen like normal. Empty space here. Just a big hallway. The lounge room. Fireplace. My bedroom. Then the bathroom. Turn it on. Let's head to bed. Tomorrow is Sunday. No, yeah, Sunday, dog. 7 o'clock morning. Tomorrow, I'm gonna work school. Unlock it. Lock it back up. Press play. Have a joke for the day.
True Tales wants to hear it. If you also have any such moment, and I dated following my separation was Simon, going on my first date with him just 5 days after I ended my marriage. Simon was unattractive to me, so much so that I had no idea how I'd get over it. I confessed to a friend shortly before our first date that I didn't know what I'd do if he kissed me. But Simon and I had a lot in common, and he made me laugh. When he kissed me, shortly after I walked through his front door, I squeezed my eyes shut and paid attention to his tongue. My husband, named Sean, unlike all the men I'd dated before him, was handsome. In the early days of us dating, Sean would often catch me looking at him. I felt surprised a man like him would be with a woman like me. I was an insecure, introverted, and nerdy 23-year-old when we first began dating, hair over my face in a concerted effort to keep any attention off of me. Before the man that had become my husband, I'd mostly dated fellow intellectuals. Men with glasses, real thin or chubby, men who never went to the gym or gave much thought to their own personal appearance. Sean was clean-cut, preppy, just a few years older than me. What led to me filing for divorce had soured me to handsome men, to any men who might resemble a politician. Simon was the obvious converse. 18 years my senior, Simon was tanning bed tan and bald. He wore glasses with those transition lenses that took too long to lose their tint. And he always had visible nose hair, which he'd try to tuck back into his nostrils instead of just plucking. Early on in dating, I bought him a hair grooming kit, but in our short period of dating, he didn't take on the maintenance much himself. He was also set in his ways. Dressing up for him meant wearing short-sleeved shirts unbuttoned at the top, and oversized blazer. He carried a satchel with him always, refusing to take it off even when sitting down at a restaurant. Beyond the physical, Simon was repulsive in other ways. He slightly lifted his leg and farted on our second date with a well-timed cough that he must have thought would cover it up. It didn't. He was hard of hearing, though he wouldn't admit it, and he talked exceptionally loud. He was cheap and vain, only allowing photos of himself to be taken from the neck up, or at high angles to hide his large stomach, or portray his face as thinner. He was also moody, resentful, and vindictive. But I felt adored, worshipped by Simon. He told me constantly I was beautiful. He took photos of me when I wasn't looking, or made me pose because I'd worn a cute outfit. He'd read my poetry, and I loved it. He was interested in me. I fell in love with him in the way only reserved for those trying to escape pain. Stupidly. Recklessly. When people of Simon's acquaintance met me and were wowed by my looks, I blushed in enjoyment. Next to Simon, I was even more beautiful. I was a novelty.
Let's pause it. I lock the door this way. Lock it back up. Head to bed, wake up in the morning, work, school. 7 the fucking morning, dog. Unlock it back up. Press play.
A person of
Have a joy for the
curiosity,
day.
with more than one of his friends asking in a not so discreet manner, "Why are you with him?"
Yeah,
And on mine, they'd gawk, again confused. Was I his daughter? A friend? Whenever I'd catch another word, the doubt that would lead to a person of curiosity, with more than one of his friends asking in a not so discreet manner, "Why are you with him?" Simon and I stayed in or went only to certain parts of town. Because we went out so little, I didn't have to see the looks. Those looks spurred the doubt that would lead to me breaking up with him. When Simon would introduce me to people as his girlfriend, they blinked at me in confusion. Or when people saw us in public, his hand on mine, they'd gawk, again confused. Was I his daughter? A friend? Whenever I'd catch another look, I'd find myself thinking, why am I with him? Clearly I shouldn't be. And as the divorce seemed closer to being resolved and our relationship could then be public, I started to realize I didn't want the world to know I was dating Simon. I felt too young, too beautiful, to be with a man the world saw not fit to be my match. I felt that I was using him to avoid the pain I knew I should be feeling after my divorce. My friends had warned me I should be single after my separation. Whenever I talked to them about my issues with Simon, they brought up that advice again gently. Whatever I had thought was love had faded. Every little thing Simon did began to annoy me. All of the things I'd overlooked before, like the fact he always carried a man purse and refused to wear a proper button-down, even for his job, weren't cute or quirky anymore. They were obnoxious. And without even those qualities for me to hold on to, he was no longer attractive to me at all. I used the normal reasons when I finally broke up with him. It wasn't him, it was me. The fact was that I did need time to myself, but I also wanted to touch and be touched by good-looking men, by young men, and I would never date someone I did not find attractive again. I did take the time I needed and did begin dating when I was ready to again. Now when I am out, I hold the hand of my exceedingly handsome boyfriend. He is muscular, rugged, with rich brown eyes and a smile with a darling dimple.
Let's pause it. Head to bed. Wake up in the morning. Legs go. Unlock it. Lock it back up. Head to bed. 7 in the morning. Today's Tuesday. Okay, the garage. Here we are. Unlock it. Let's have a joint for the day. Press play.
Friends or acquaintances has said to me, "Wow, he's a looker." I've never once gotten that look I saw whenever I was out with Simon. That look that made me question why I was with the person I was with. What's your story? True Tales wants to hear it. If you also have any such moment, you can share it in the comment section below. Hit the
Shit. Fuck off.
Hey y'all, my name is Lizzie and I'm 17. My best friend and I were at her house playing video games when I first realized it. Her brother had just gotten out of the shower and was only in a towel. He opened the door saying, "Can you turn the noise down?"
Ew, Jared, get out of my room. Can't you see that I have my best friend over? She threw a pillow at him, which he caught effortlessly. I could not help myself from staring at his extremely toned body. Gosh,
Yeah,
it was like he was sculpted by the gods. Liz, you're drooling.
let's pause it. Walk it back up. Head to bed. Tomorrow's Wednesday, yo. Fuck, the week is almost gone by already. 7 in the morning. Fuck me dead, the week is almost gone by already, cunt. Unlock it. Press play.
I snap back to reality,
Have a joint
immediately indignant.
for
I
the
am not
day.
drooling, I shout and smack her arm. The next few years passed by with awkward encounters with the ever-attractive Jared. My best friend would constantly tease me about my crush and tell me that she would be willing to put in a good word for me. No way! He's your brother, was always my response. Regardless of what I said, I could not help myself from crushing on him, and crushing on him hard. Nearly every time I went over to my friend's house, I was hoping for another encounter with him. But random encounters were not enough. I wanted him to notice me. I wanted his attention. I craved it. One night, my best friend thought. That is until Angela started screaming and bouncing up and down cheering. How did you like this story? Let us know in the comments. Enjoyed this video? Then hit the like button and share the video. Subscribe to this channel to watch more
In the mornings. I got my smoothie and I was ready to take on the day. But my hands fumbled. I accidentally tripped on the shoe from the man behind me and then spilled my drink all over him. I quickly grabbed as many napkins as possible and tried cleaning him up and saying, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry." I looked like a wreck of emotions. This man was nothing but kind to me, as he said, "Dear, don't worry about it. My foot was in the way. All my fault. Here, let me buy you another drink." He smiled gently, and I had never seen someone handle a situation so calmly. I let him buy me another drink, and we ended up exchanging phone numbers. Over the next few weeks, we were having a whirlwind romance together.
Let's pause it. Head to bed, I guess. Tomorrow is Thursday. Fuck, the week is almost gone by. Lock it back up. Fuck, the week is going quick. Head to bed. 7 in the morning. Unlock it. Today's Thursday.
Every night,
Press
we talked on
play.
the phone about anything
Have a
and
joint for the
everything.
day.
We did so many spontaneous things. One night, on a Monday, we went out dancing randomly. While Saul sang with
you
me
better.
in a small venue in our bustling college town, he asked me, "Would you like to come home to meet my father? It would mean so much to me. It's been the two of us for a while now." He looked at me with puppy dog eyes, and of course, I said yes. We kissed as he dipped me. That night, I called my mother to tell her about how I'm going to meet my new boyfriend's family, and I said, "Mom, I'm finally going to meet Zeke's dad. I'm so excited." She replied, "Aw, honey, I'm so glad for you." Ironically, it was wonderful for us both. It was as if our lives were falling into place. The night finally came, and Zeke came to pick me up from my dorm, and we set off to his home together. Holding hands in the car all the way there, I was thrilled to be meeting his father. He began to tell me in the car, "So, my dad invited his girlfriend to come and meet me as well as you tonight, because I told him you're gonna be the one." And he gave me a soft and tender look. "Baby, you really think I'm the one?" I was beyond words. But little did I know this night was going to take a wild turn. We arrived and I walked through the front door, arm in arm with the man I loved. And then 2 people came to the front door to greet us. One of them was my mother. Mom? I exclaimed, and then everyone looked confused. What are you doing here, Alyssa? She asked me, even though we both knew why we were here. My mom was my boyfriend's father's girlfriend. Try saying that one twice. Zeke's dad broke into the conversation. Well, this is a bit unexpected. But I mean, why don't we all sit down and get to know each other then? We all share a common link, he joked around. It felt a bit awkward at first, but we ate dinner together and ended up having a lovely time. Eventually, my mother came to be engaged to her boyfriend, this making Zeke and I technically step-siblings. To some, it sounds crazy, but we fell in love before we knew about our parents ever dating. We all knew we wanted to be happy with the person we love. Zeke and I have now been dating for 7 years. And my mom and his...
Let's pause it. Head to bed. Rocket. Yeah, buddy. Tomorrow's Friday. 7 the fucking morning. I'm Rocket. Press play.
dad around the same amount of time as well. What's your story? True Tales wants to hear it. If you also have any such moment,
Always been a beautiful girl with long curly hair that is the perfect shade of reddish brown. Additionally, a curvy body and a pearly white smile. Even though I consider myself attractive, I never knew I would get this kind of attention from a man. I had no idea the stranger I was about to meet would shower me with attention and love. I went to the grocery store one day after work. I had changed out of my corporate formal wear into something more casual. Jeans that hugged my hips, and a t-shirt that molded around my bosom just right. Once I picked a few items, I realized there was a man that had been following me around the store for quite some time. He wasn't conventionally attractive, but he had certain qualities one would adore, such as broad shoulders, very tall with tan skin, and dark brown eyes.
Let's have a
I
joint for
began making
day.
my way to the register, and once it was my turn to pay, I heard a voice from behind me go, "I've got that." And
Yeah, buddy.
A new place. The first 3 times we afterwards.
As soon as I opened our front door, the smell of freshly baked bread and cinnamon filled my nostrils. I kicked off my shoes and ran to the kitchen, still soaked from the rain that poured on me while biking home. My mom was brushing the powdered sugar off her hands on her apron, and a loaf of bread was cooling on a rack next to a slightly open window. "Hi, honey, how was school?" my mom asked me, pushing some of the hair on my forehead back and planting a kiss on my forehead. "Mom," I said, annoyed that she still did that as if I were a kid. "What did you bake?" I asked as she grabbed a plate and a knife to slice the bread. "It's a regular loaf of bread, but I made a cinnamon swirl that I hope shows in every slice. I wanted to try it out before adding it to the menu," she said as she made a few slices, the swirl showing perfectly in each one. Moments like these were when I marveled at our home. Although outside it was dark, stormy, and pouring rain, the yellow lighting of our kitchen, the warmth and the smell of cinnamon made me close my eyes and enjoy the moment. We sat at the kitchen island with our slices of bread and drinks. I dipped my bread in hot cocoa and snickered at my mom muttering
Let's
something.
pause it. Head to bed, I guess. Rock it back up. Head to bed. Saturday today. Hell yeah, buddy. It's the weekend. I'm Rocket. Press play.
Masterpiece. What's wrong, honey? You look
What a
worried.
blunt
She
for
asked
day,
with sudden deep in
dog.
thought. Earlier that day, our history teacher told me that if I didn't ace the following tests, I was gonna fail his class. It's school stuff. You wouldn't understand. I sighed. Boy, I had you when I was a high school junior. You don't think I'll understand trouble at school? She chuckled at me. I explained to her that I was failing history and that my teacher wasn't lenient at all, and that I could fail the year if I did bad, and struggled despite putting in extra work. Well, there's a parent-teacher meeting soon. I could go talk to him, she said, immediately making me feel better. If anyone could convince my teacher of going easy on me, it was my mom. Most persuasive person in the world. The day of the parent-teacher meeting came, and I stopped by my mom's bakery to ask her if she was still going. The familiar bell rang as I opened the door. Julie, a girl who worked for my mom, was at the cash register. Hey, Jules, I greeted her when I came in. She gave me a small wave as she handed a customer her change. Busy day? I asked. The morning had me spinning. Your mom's cinnamon swirl thing was a huge success, and now people are getting food to bribe teachers at the school later. Where's Mom? I asked. Baking her bribe in the back, she said, turning back to count some money in the cash register. I walked past her and into the kitchen where Mom was putting a batch of cookies in the oven. Are those? I began, but they were. My favorite marshmallow brownie cookies. Mom was wearing a pair of jeans and a red blouse. I noticed she had curled her hair a bit and put on heels instead of her usual sneakers. She looked much more like a mom now than she did usually, but she looked like the kind of mom that distracts your friends. We talked in the kitchen for a while, until the oven beeped. The cookies were placed in a basket, and Mom made her way towards the school. I was watching a movie in the living room and eating popcorn when Mom finally got home. Hours had passed since the time the meeting should have ended, and I was beginning to worry. She kicked off her heels immediately, sighing in relief, and she stumbled towards the couch, plopping down next to me. She told me the meeting went well and that they went out for drinks afterwards. She asked him to help me out a bit, and he agreed, to my relief. He also told me you're pretty distracted with Adrian, she said. I know he's failing too, and I know how close you two are, but I ignored it. My best friend Adrian was also being treated better by Mr. Harrison. Mom was suddenly swatting my hand away when I reached for an extra muffin, and stuff like that, saying they were for Bruce. She started properly dating Mr. Harrison. Sometimes I'd come home from Adrian's and I'd finish them watching a movie on the couch all cuddled up. It upset me a lot, but I realized my father was never in the picture and Mom hadn't had a boyfriend since high school. Plus, she seemed happy, so I got over it. One night, she told me she was going on a date with Bruce, so I asked Adrian to come over for a sleepover. We played video games in the living room for hours until we popped in a movie and I fell asleep in the middle of it. I woke up around 2 in the morning and didn't see Adrian, but...
Let's pause the gas. Walk it back up. Head to bed tomorrow Sunday. On Monday, we're school. 7 in the morning. Let's head out. Go chill out. You can't. Unlock it. Press play. Have a blunt for the day,
I
dog.
started walking towards it, but I heard voices. It was my mom and Adrian. I started eavesdropping. I just wanted to thank you for talking to Mr. Harrison for me, Adrian said, but in a weird way. I knew this voice he was making. It was the voice he used when he was flirting with girls. It was no problem, Adrian. You're Jackson's best friend, my mom said, in a totally normal voice. It was clear that my best friend. She pushed me out of the kitchen and... I really didn't feel... Suddenly we were always at mine. He kept making up next to me. I laid awake.
If you have a problem, one day, fuck, why don't you just join in? Simple enough.
Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style of it.
I was expecting the low B that was my average, but when I biked a few blocks until I reached my mom's bakery,
smoking
where
a
I
good
knew she would be.
gun.
I was ready to confront her about her thing with Adrian as I burst through the door, but the house before Mom woke up and came back very late, or when I knew she wasn't home. I avoided Adrian like the plague at school, not even bothering to hide it. I was trying to come up with a way to get back at them, or at least get them to stop, because as far as I knew, they were still making out when I wasn't looking. My history grade started to go up, so I guess I got that out of it. But it wasn't enough. I was packing up my stuff after history one day when Mr. Harrison asked me to stay behind because he wanted to talk. He sat on his desk, fidgeting nervously as I waited for him to just spit it out. Then he finally did. He wanted to ask my mom to marry him, but didn't know how to do it. Is there anything she finds romantic? Something special? He looked nervous and excited. I felt kind of bad for the guy. At that moment, I felt like a light bulb popped up above my head, and I had a plan. As soon as I got home, I started working on it. 2 days later, Mr. Harrison went to order a very special cake, my mom's favorite, on the bakery's website. When he went to the other tab to pay for it, the bakery's new logo popped up. It read, "Nothing better than a cake and a kiss with your son's best friend." Not only did my mom get dumped, but Adrian failed history, which led to him failing the year. Serves them right. "Ooh, your girlfriend is so pretty, Asher. What's her name?" my annoying sister said as she crept up behind me. I was at my computer looking at pictures of gorgeous celebrities. "This isn't my girlfriend. Get out of my room, you pest," I said. "You'll never have